right. Welcome to Teymur's Talktime Stereo Podcast, episode 5. Oh yeah. Hope y'all? Not my accent. I don't know what happened there. I hope you all had a great start into 2020. You're all well, you're all motivated. There's something going on with my speech today. I'm very sorry about that. Also, I'm running on the Hoonigan merch train today. Pure accident, I don't know. Just realized that today while setting up the camera. Oh well, hope you don't mind. Also, I'm wearing a cap because I'm a bit sweaty and I haven't shaved my head. Yeah. What's going on with me? All good. Today, first day, or I went and got my first real shipment of like real proper hardwood. Got some maple, got some walnuts. Have to cut it down tomorrow, which is very, very exciting. And then we can rock this frame making business thing. I'm really excited. And I'm so happy that the lumber company, they're so nice, they're so cool. And it's actually quite scary how much you have to pay for like really shitty wood in like these, how do you call them actually? Stores like Home Depot and so on. Man, at least here in Germany, I don't know how it is in the US, but you get shitty lumber for like so much money. And the lumberyard, man, really, as I said, really nice walnut, maple, and I paid the same as I paid for like a smaller amount of shitty wood in the big store. Anyways, very excited about that. And I don't know. I mean, I want to do more YouTube videos in general anyway. But I'm still not sure if I can go and do the maker video thing. But I don't know. Maybe I should just give it a shot. Who knows? Also, I'm trying to keep the microphone a bit further away for those who are watching the video. I hope that works. We'll see after this. If the sound isn't that good, I'll switch back. What else? Right. This week I wanted to talk about the Oculus Quest a little bit more and VR in general, as I talked about last time. And let's start with that. Let's get into it. For those who don't know, the Oculus Quest is basically the smallest or one of the smallest available VR headsets that you can get right now, and it is a standalone headset, which is super cool. Which means you don't need to connect it to a computer or whatever. Everything that you need is basically in the headset itself. Give me a second, just for those who are watching the video. This is basically the headset. You have the headset and 2 controllers, charging cable, of course, and that's basically it. You just put it on your head and you go. And I think it's an Android system on there. Just a whole lot of fun. The quality of the panels isn't too bad. I don't know the specs by heart, and well, I mean, if you're really interested, you can look it up. And I will link everything in the show notes and down below the video. The one reason why I got it, and I had tried the PSVR before that, or right before that, excuse me, and I have tried a couple different, I think an older Vive at a friend's place, but just briefly. And I was always very, very annoyed by having all those cables dangling from your head added to whatever is on your head anyway for the headset, right? And not only the weight is one thing, but also like cables you keep pulling the cables and here and there. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird feeling. I mean, you can get lost in it, but for me, that was a very big, I don't know. It was that one of those main points that kept me from really getting into it. Then I tried the PSVR, which was okayish, and it works and it's nice, but still the graphics, for example, in what was it, No Man's Sky. I know it's not the headset itself, and it always is a combination of things, right? And how much power the PS4 has, and so on and so on. And anyways, that experience wasn't really for me. I didn't really enjoy that too much. And then I saw John Carmack on Rogan, and he kept talking about how much they put in the Quest block. That was like a month before he quit, but that's beside the point. So I thought, okay, fuck it, I'll try it out. And that was before my 1 month Japan trip. And I thought it would be actually great because I never used the infotainment thing in the airplane. Just from back in the day when, I actually don't know if they still do it, but where they re-edited films for the airplane, which super annoyed me as a film nerd. So I stopped watching anything on the planes normally. And I always watch something on my iPad or my laptop or whatever. And this time I thought it would be actually a quite fun idea to try the Oculus and bring that along and, have something where I can consume media with and blah, blah, and all that. And also have something if, I don't know, whatever hotel room I end up in Tokyo and on my travels. So I thought, okay, get it, try it out, blah, blah. And I didn't even really think much about gaming at that point. So I went out, got it, and immediately also tried a couple games because I saw Vader Immortal, the Star Wars game where you it's kind of a Vader mini story thing. It's super enjoyable. Definitely have to check it out if you're into VR or are thinking about getting a VR system. Just the beginning of episode 1 of that, you're thrown into this story and I don't want to spoil anything, but I got goosebumps. And I did the Void at Disneyland in LA. That gave me goosebumps too. And that is so much more sophisticated than what the Quest can give you. But if you just let go and enjoy whatever it is you're seeing there, man, that was so cool. Anyway, and it was at that point where I realized, hey, I've been losing weight for the past year, and it's the 15th now today where I'm recording, and I started with changing the way I eat and working out every day and so on the 22nd last year of January. So at that point I was like, okay, let's try and mix things up a little bit. And after I played Beat Saber, which is basically if you don't know, it's kind of a Guitar Hero type of game, but you have 2 lightsabers in your hands and you have to strike cubes that are basically in a row coming towards you. It's to music, it's to really, I don't know, it's a mix of music styles a little bit, but it's mostly EDM and stuff like that. But it's, it's catchy, it's cool, and it gets you in the mood for swinging lightsabers around and striking them in different ways and this and that. And man, I got sweating and my heart rate went up and this and that. And at that point I was like, dude, I could try and use that maybe for light cardio workouts where you just build up a sweat a little bit and so on. And especially for me while traveling, I seldomly, I mean, if it is a hotel that has a gym, that's one thing. But even then, it's, I don't know. Anyways, I thought maybe that could be something nice where you could get a nice workout in within a small confined space and just, build up a sweat and have, at least some kind of, um, yeah, exercise, right? So, and I've been doing that for a while now, and it's so much fun. And there are boxing games, and there's Beat Saber, and there's this one game, and they're all not exclusive to the Oculus Quest, by the way. These are all on all platforms and available for all platforms, as far as I know. Actually, I don't know about Vader Immortal, but who cares? Anyways, I will link everything up, and then you can check if you like. So that was a nice added bonus when I didn't want to like hop on the rowing machine or use the kettlebells or go for a long brisk walk, as my Apple Watch keeps telling me. And on the other hand, I started looking into how you can get media onto your Oculus Quest to like watch stuff. So there are obviously like apps for like Netflix and so on, and YouTube. And as far as I know, Netflix doesn't, but the YouTube app allows you to download videos. But the fun thing is there are apps that you have to put on your computer, whatever is Mac, Windows, where you can start sideloading stuff onto the Quest. And then you can put Plex on there or whatever you want, or just like directly copy video files that you have, backup files, whatever, and put them on there and watch that way. And those are, I mean, it works. It's really cool. And the fun thing is, if you're not pixel peeping the whole time, it's basically like sitting in front of or not far from like a really big TV. And it's a really nice, or let's put it the other way, a different way. It is so much nicer watching a movie that way than sitting in an airplane and watching it on one of those shitty airplane TVs, right? And also in hotels, I found like sometimes if I wasn't like in the mood for like having my laptop next to me or watching something on the iPad, you just pop that thing on, browse YouTube a little bit. It is a different and fun experience, and maybe it's also a novelty thing, but I think it's nice to like, you concentrate on stuff a little bit differently too. And the only thing I would say that is a bit annoying is how the head strap works and how heavy the headset itself is in the front. On your cheeks around here, you can get like I don't know, it can get a bit uncomfortable. It's not that it like really hurts. Then again, I don't know if I've used it for like 1.5 hours straight playing Beat Saber for sure. And that works, but then you have marks on your face and that. But there are ways to like mod the headset a little bit if you really want to use it excessively for long periods of time. But I think the point I wanted to get at is VR has had a big resurgence in the past couple of years, but not as big as everyone had hoped. And I think for the mainstream, it still is kind of a weird thing. And I was talking to a good friend of mine. He's an artist and he's into cryptocurrency and he does cryptoart and stuff like that. And in that field, AR, VR is getting quite interesting too for people. And people in that field seem to be a lot more accepting, which brought me to the point where when you think of like Second Life and WoW and all that stuff, right? You had to have that one killer feature thing that got people into something, like if it was just or whatever it is, right? I mean, if it's phone technology or if it's VR or if it's a game or whatever. And I think VR isn't there yet. And people are trying to push in, especially since Apple kind of proclaimed that they're like pushing AR so bad. And there are those rumors that the Apple goggles will come out or whatever they're called. I don't see the killer feature for AR yet. But I have found the killer feature for VR for myself right now, which is this, and that is like closely connected to the Oculus Quest being so easy to use. And funny enough, Oculus just published, or they kind of updated the software and blah blah, and they also offer now a USB-C cable for the Oculus Quest, which you then can connect to your Windows PC, and basically use your Oculus Quest as if you would have bought the Oculus Rift S, which is basically the bigger brother, which only works when you connect it to the PC, and you can play all those games too, where it uses all the power of the computer and your graphics card, and basically just uses the Oculus Quest as a monitor, right? Which you put in your head. And I just got the cable yesterday and I didn't have much time today to try it out. But that little bit I tried it out, it's nice, and it's so cool that you're able to use like such a big variety of things now, and you can go into Steam and use Steam VR and all that, all those things. But even or already then, and it's just this one tiny kind of thin USB-C cable that already annoyed the heck out of me. But I might have to try and set everything up a little bit differently, and also connect the cable a bit more properly to the headset and so on. But still, the main thing is the killer feature that sold me is that you don't have to connect anything to it at all if you don't want to. And that it can give you an experience that you, or a possibility to do something that you couldn't before. And if I think about AR, where you're just like, I don't know, it's nice to have a heads-up display in a car. So it could be nice having a heads-up display in your glasses or your contact lenses or something. But then again, it's also nice to have nothing in front of your face, right? I mean, I wear glasses anyways, but having the constant data flow going into your head, it's actually nice if you put down your bloody phone and you're not sitting in front of the computer. And it's not like anyone forces you to put those on, but I don't know. I mean, when people keep talking about AR and then start dreaming about AR and having those wishful views into the future where you meet someone on the street and your glasses and the whole system behind it recognize the person and give you the name and where you know them from, blah blah. All that is nice, but I mean, let's be honest, that's not going to happen in the next like 5 to 10 years probably, right? For now we'll have like, oh, turn right here or turn left there, and that can have its place. But I know a lot of people who need correction for their eyes and they could use glasses, but they prefer to have contact lenses. And what's with people who are already wearing glasses? And I'm very particular about my glasses, if you haven't been able to tell yet. I don't want to wear some Apple glasses. I mean, I don't mind the watch because for me, it's more of a fitness device than anything else. And I would love to have an Apple Watch without the whole watch thing, just the fitness part. That would be so wonderful. But my point is, I think it's going to be hard to sell people on that. But then again, I mean, who knows, right? But everyone is running around with AirPods nowadays anyway. But I think glasses are something very different. And I don't know if Apple is doing it or whoever is going to do it and trying to sell you that feature, but the thing where you walk around and hold your phone up to something and look at like, oh, there's art, or that, I mean, it kind of works, or the Minecraft game or whatever, kind of works, but I don't know. I'm not sold on that, and it's just not fun. And I mean, come on, Pokemon Go, that's not AR. Fuck you if you. I mean, that's just silly. So it's going to be interesting how that whole thing develops. But I think Oculus putting effort into improving the Oculus Quest is a fantastic thing. That all being said, and I think I said that last week, I can't remember actually, I am very scared about Oculus being a Facebook company, especially after I deleted my Facebook account and everything. I mean, I'm still on Instagram. I know that's kind of silly, but it's more a thing of principle for me than anything else. You can't escape them probably anyway. But I mean, look, if Oculus would switch their login thing to you can only use it when you have a Facebook account, I'm out. That thing lands on eBay right away, right? Because that would be an absolute no-go. And there's so much bad stuff that they can do. I mean, Facebook just does bad stuff, in my opinion, anyway, nowadays. And there doesn't seem to be any proper and like positive developments anymore. So I hope that doesn't trickle down to Oculus, and we will see like lots of interesting and good developments further on, as we have seen so far. Because I really think the Oculus Quest is like the biggest step forward for VR in the past couple of years. I mean, obviously, for VR nerds and people who already were into VR, that doesn't count, but it's always about bringing new people in, right? So I think, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Either way, I've talked too much about this stuff anyway already. Yeah. A little bit of golden latte ASMR. What else? Oh yeah, let me show you something. Well, obviously, whoops, I messed up my... And for everyone listening to the podcast, I mean, the main way you probably should consume this. I will link everything up and I will put pictures in, as I started doing last week, which I hope you enjoyed. My good friend Ryer, this way. The artist I was talking about, who does the cryptoart stuff, he has these fantastic goodie bags and swag and all that stuff. And you have to look at his paintings. They're absolutely marvelous. And as we're talking about AR and VR, and I will link everything up, and you should definitely buy something from him because they're absolutely beautiful works of art, and especially if you're into cryptocurrency and crypto art, this will blow your mind. And it's interesting, I can't remember the name of the platform he's on, but he also sells digital art, which completely blew my mind, that you can sell purely digital art. And it is a blockchain Ethereum thing that is in the background going on there, which makes it very unique. But that is a very, very interesting thing going on, and maybe you want to purchase something there. So I will link everything up for you, and do me a favor and check him out for sure. Also, yes, I'm not finished yet with my web shop, which will be hopefully soon. But I'm making progress, and more progress than I've done in the past year. So that has to count for something, right? So that's exciting. I've been wondering how many of you that maybe are into TV shows and films actually consume social media specific or very like short form, like short films and mini series on stuff like YouTube and Vimeo and so on. Because I had this really cool idea for this really, really short thing, film project. And I just came up with it like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something. And I just realized that I used to watch a lot of short films, and especially like sci-fi short films and so on, online. And then at some point, I don't know, it kind of out of the way and I stopped. But since then, I started looking around again, and there's so much crazy cool stuff out there, and YouTube channels that promote really fantastic short films and so on. So I was wondering how many other people actually do consume projects like that on a regular basis. Obviously, when something goes viral, a lot of people see it. So that's one thing. But and it's not that I want to necessarily force and maximize whatever I'm going to do. I'm just like really genuinely interested because there's this onslaught of content and big blockbuster content that we're like being subjected to, like Netflix, Amazon, the cinema, HBO, whatever, all those platforms and these hundreds of TV shows and movies that are coming out every year, and so many of them are so great, right? I mean, I kept talking about them for weeks on this podcast, so I'm wondering if we will be able to, I don't know, switch things up every now and then and have like stuff going on that is different than what the masses consume. What is produced for the masses, I was going to say. And maybe if the masses are interested in like more smaller artisanal filmmaking and so on, which is going to be interesting. But I will keep you informed, and hopefully, I don't know, it will certainly take us a month or two at least to get to a point where I can show people something. But this is I'm sure this is going to be very, very exciting. Not only for us, for me, but also for people watching and consuming the whole thing. So that's going to be very cool. Anything else? I think this is going to be a short one this week. I'm actually just looking to the left. I don't know why. Left? Yeah. There's no one there. But I like looking there. Well, as I said, I think this is going to be a super short one this week. I might do another one at the end of the week, or but it's not like I'm going to do like 1 week apparently, as I missed kind of last week. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this very short episode and would love to hear any kind of feedback. So I'm still trying to improve myself and my podcasting and sitting in front of a camera skills. And I hope you'll have a fantastic week. Do something good for other people maybe, which always reflects wonderfully on your own soul. And also do something creative. No matter what your regular job is, no matter what you normally do something creatively and something different than what you normally used to do or you're doing on a regular basis. That is something that it just, brings new light into your scope with which you look at the world, basically. And especially if you're creative, I think just trying something completely new or looking at something completely new and experiencing something completely new, just switch it up every now and then. I think that really can get you going again and refresh your creative batteries or something like that. So thank you very much for listening, watching, whatever you do. YouTube, iTunes, all that jazz. Also, check out my website if you haven't. It is all linked below in the show notes and whatever below the video. I've posted, I think since the last episode, I've posted 2 new blog posts, photo posts, which you might be interested in. Fuck my Instagram account. No, you can check that out there too. I haven't been posting much there lately. I don't know. I'm not very inspired. I need a new kind of idea of how to go about using Instagram, which I haven't found yet. But definitely check out my website. Follow me on Twitter if you like. It's more of a very general use of Twitter. You won't find a lot of very photography or filmmaking specific stuff there either, but I think it's nice. And I like using Twitter more and more these days, especially more than Instagram. But yeah, that's a different thing. So thank you very much, and see you next time.